thrift store find. I went to Goodwill and I had seen a video on Camp David Adventures about baking bread, and I was curious. And when I went to drop off some items, I figured I'd go in and see if I could find a bread maker instead of buying one online. And I found this unit. I ended up tidying it up because it wasn't filthy, but it wasn't up to my standard of clean. So I cleaned, the whole cover, all of the venting. I cleaned out the pan. The most challenging aspect was this kneading paddle was seized on the rod beneath it, and I had to try a lot of different things and watch some YouTube videos to figure out how to get it detached. So a combination of hot water, soaking it in that. I sprayed some calcium rust type of removing cleaner. I put oil, and then after I did all those things and it started loosening it, I used a method I saw on YouTube where you invert the unit, well, this portion, you use pot holders on either side, and you attach, in the example, it was shoelaces, and then 2 jugs of water, and use the weight inverted to make it come loose. In my case, I used a tote bag from a store, a cloth tote bag, and wound it around twice under here, had it upside down with the water jugs, and I was able to get it loose. And so now this pops straight off, and no problem. So it took me a lot of effort, a full day actually, to get it off, but now it's all good. And when I was at the Goodwill, I made sure that I plugged it in and made sure that it worked. So it does work. It goes through all the cycles, and I was able to find the manual online, and I'm gonna end up testing out a loaf, but I made sure everything was working. So stay tuned, and I will put in a batch. So I am doing the basic bread recipe. I've put in the ingredients, and now it's kneading. Total time is 2 hours and 45 minutes, and per the booklet, there's an hour and 16 minutes worth of kneading and rising before the final rise. My plan is to remove the kneading paddle before the final rise, so that way the bread will bake without the paddle in place. So we're now at 1 hour and 33 minutes. The recipe says to check the dough. Really, I was supposed to do it earlier, but see if it is too dry, and if it's too dry, add 1/2 of a tablespoon of liquid. And so I felt like it was a bit dry, so I went ahead and added 1/2 of a tablespoon. So it appears now that baking may have started, even though according to the recipe, I don't think it should have, but I smell some heat element, so I need to hurry up and take out the paddle. So let me do that now. I was not expecting that. I'm not really quite sure what's going on. Maybe because it's a rise cycle, but I'm going to go ahead and take the paddle out just to be safe. This is my test run, so I'm still learning, but taking you with me. So there's 23 minutes left, and it smells good, but it doesn't look like a loaf, so I'm not really sure what's happening. But we'll wait and see. Well, there was a really loud beep that sounded, which I appreciated because I was upstairs watching TV and would have never heard it. It didn't rise as much as I wanted, but I know that I used a white wheat flour, and also I used the smallest loaf setting, so that could be why. But it smells great, and it actually doesn't look as bad as I thought, so let me take it out. So I've just removed the pan with my pot holder, and I just banged on the sides to loosen the loaf. And so there it is. And we can see where the kneading paddle, well, not even the kneading paddle, where the blade was. So I had to get rid of that portion of bread. This is what the top looks like. So it's kind of like a small loaf. Okay, it's still steaming, and I just went ahead and removed the areas where there was a little bit of discoloration, I believe, from the metal. And so now we have a hot loaf, and I'll get to try it out. Kind of pretty easy. See all that smoke. Okay, let me grab some butter. Okay, let me try it. It tastes pretty good. It's different because it's wheat. And I'm also not used to just eating bread with butter on it. I think I'm gonna try some jam. So it just so happens I have some peach preserves. I love that farm. So I'm gonna put some on this bread. And now, try. It reminds me of more of like a biscuit. But a success. What I thought was a failure was actually a success, so I'm happy. For $3 and I believe 69 cents. I'll have to show you the receipt. So yes, I remember correctly, $3.69 at Goodwill of North Georgia. So pretty awesome deal. It was originally $6.96, and then there was a discounted tag that reduced it by 50%. And then that resulted in it being $3.69. So awesome deal. So this is how my bread pan is looking after I've removed the loaf. So not too much stuck on it, but I don't want to have any issues like I did before. So I'm gonna go ahead and soak with hot water. So I'll just let the tap get hot. At least to above the metal, so that way you can go ahead and soak, and then I'll just scrub that off. We'll be good to go. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but this is my first time making bread and first time using a bread maker, so under $4 you just can't beat it. So I would highly recommend that you go check out your local thrift store and see if you could find a bread maker. Give it a try. I'm looking forward to trying out banana bread and some dough for cinnamon rolls, and also I like to make pizzas, so kneading my dough in the machine could be a good option. Thanks for watching, and look to my next video.